Anthony Donskoff here at Donskoff Strength and Conditioning. I wanted to talk to you guys today about how we manage stress in designing programs for our athletes. Now, stress can come in multifaceted areas, whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's improper nutrition, whether it's psychological or physiological stress. But obviously, for the sake of this talk, I want to talk about how we manage stress in our environment to seek adaptation for our athletes. Okay, so there's basically 5 different ways that the tissue can respond to stress. Okay, it can have a negative effect, okay, or it can reduce its tolerance to stress, which would happen in the case of an injury. Atrophy sets in. Okay, it can maintain or have maintenance, so nothing can happen. We can increase our tolerance to stress. Okay, so we can seek adaptation, whether it's strength, power, okay, demands. The 4th would be injury, which again would probably happen because we're applying too much stress too soon, we're trying to be too aggressive, or applying too much stress for prolonged periods of time, which you see with really high intense exercise protocol like CrossFit or P90X. Last but not least, you see tissue death. Okay, and that's extreme cases of stress to the body. Okay, again, I want to talk about how we manage stress for our athletes in our programs. We manipulate 3 variables. If you look at the whiteboard behind me, okay, these are all variables that we tinker with when we design programs for our athletes. Okay, they all have to do with stress in the weight room. Okay, so magnitude of stress, the total load, the direction of stress, okay, and the time that stress is placed on the athlete. Okay, so magnitude, okay, we control this variable several ways, okay, with our rep count. Okay, on the high end with our athletes, we're doing reps of 8. The low end, we're doing reps of 3. If you look at an exercise like an Olympic lift, okay, on the high end, no more than 5 repetitions. On the low end, no more than 3 repetitions. Okay, with our core exercises, our trap bar deadlift, our bench press, those fit in the same parameters. So we're not pushing and pulling what I would call red zone numbers, which are singles, heavy singles, doubles. Okay, so we try to stay out of what I call the red zone. Anytime that happens, typically get major breakdowns in form and technique, and you skip the adaptation phase and go right into injury. Okay? Also, we look at what Coach Boyle says, maximal benefit, minimal load. Okay, how can we create exercises in here where we can reduce the total load but still seek the benefit of adaptation? For us, it's unilateral training, whether it's single leg training or unilateral pressing variations. Huge fan of those. Okay, we can take off the total load and still seek the adaptation that we're looking for as strength coaches. Okay, the second variable that we want to manipulate is direction. Direction matters. Okay, the 2 big no-nos that we try to reduce or eliminate are torque and compression. So we don't back squat, we don't traditional deadlift our athletes in large group settings. Okay, we choose more user-friendly protocol like the trap bar deadlift, where literally you are part of the bar, so we're eliminating that torque. Okay, we reduce, obviously in the case of a back squat, there's a lot of torque involved. Okay, you look at the axis of rotation and you look where the bar is placed in the back. Okay, if the bar fails, we got major torque. So we have, I guess, compression and torque-free exercises. Okay, so huge fans of the trap bar deadlift. And last but not least, time. And we manipulate time. You can call it intramuscular tension, time under tension, but we manipulate it in several ways, okay, for our programming for our athletes. Obviously, if it's a rookie or a youth athlete coming in here, progressive resistance is the way to go, but there reaches a point where those adaptations and those gains stall. So what we do to seek adaptation for our athletes is we undulate the stress levels. Okay, that means that every 3 weeks, the rep count teeters up and down so we can seek at that adaptation that we're looking for. Okay, so we're varying the stress levels, trying to trick the body so we can get those higher levels of adaptation. Okay, last but not least, we use time in-season training. Okay, we train a high volume of hockey players here at DSC. During the course of the hockey season, some of these elite teams play 60+ games, coupled with 2 to 3 practices a week, which are extremely large amounts of stress placed on the athlete. Okay, so time. We're going to reduce that time under tension during the regular course of the season. Okay, so instead of doing 4 sets of an exercise or 3 sets, we would do half. Okay, during the regular season, athletes perform 2 sets of exercises, so we reduce that time under tension, and our hope as coaches is to reduce the delayed onset muscle soreness. Okay, so all these variables fit into our philosophies here at Donskoff Strength and Conditioning. I call it the do no harm philosophy. Number 1, do no harm in the weight room. Number 2, okay, reduce the chance of injury on the ice or on the field. Okay, and last but not least, enhance performance. Okay, so again, stress is stress. Anytime athletes walk into the weight room, okay, they are experiencing stress, obviously from a physiological, okay, and a mechanical level. So it's our goal as coaches to try to adapt the athlete without both overtraining and getting injured and or undertraining and staying stagnant. Hope this stuff helps and hope you guys can apply it to your programs. Thanks.